Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, it's a special Final Four edition of the Journalists Roundtable. We'll look at the big event's impact on local businesses and what hosting a Final Four does for the Valley's sports reputation. A special Sports Reporters edition on the next Journalists Roundtable.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon's Journalists Roundtable. I'm Ted Simons. Joining us tonight, Paula Bovin of the Arizona Republic, Mike Sunnix of the Phoenix Business Journal, and Brett Kurland, director of the Phoenix Sports Bureau at ASU's Cronkite School. The final round of the NCAA basketball championships will be played in Glendale over the next 3 days with all sorts of ancillary events scattered around the valley through the weekend. Paula, how big a deal is this?
It's a huge deal, I think. One, the Final Four hasn't been out in the West since, a couple decades. So there's a reputation, I think, that the West can do this. But also, it's the reputation of the Valley and how they host these big events. I know a lot of people maybe who live here don't quite understand that. But from the, talking about tourism, Ted, just talking about a city's reputation, man, this has been a rough year for sports. Coyotes, Diamondbacks, Suns. I'm just happy to talk about something positive right now.
That's true. Someone's going to win.
Yes,
Someone's
exactly.
But in terms of the grand scheme, we've done Super Bowls, we've done college football championships, NBA All-Star games. How big a deal is this?
Well, it's a different crowd, too. We're used to the football fans coming out here that time of year, New Year's and right after that. But this is the March, right after spring training's finishing up. And so you got basketball folks there. You have a whole bunch of coaches out here for their meetings, all the basketball media, different types of fans coming down. Gonzaga fans don't come down here for football. That's their sport. And so it's a different type of crowd coming out. And it's a different downtown that we've had in the past. Downtown Phoenix is the center of all this. All the teams are staying down here. The concerts are down here. And the Super Bowl and the All-Star games kind of set the pace for that. But we're really seeing everything that's happened downtown with ASU, with all the restaurants, with all the people kind of living down here now in light rail, really changing kind of how this city behaves locally and how it greets visitors. People don't have to go to Scottsdale anymore. They can come all the way down here.
And that's, I was saying, and I think the interesting thing, the Super Bowl that was here a couple of years ago, I think really gave them a blueprint. And if you talk to the organizers of the College Football Playoff National Championship game last year, and then the Final Four folks, is they followed that blueprint, that idea of having this fan fest downtown and having a lot of things clustered down here.
Paula, you've been here for quite a while, as most of us have. I mean, we do have a reputation for putting on a show, putting on these big events. How do we get this reputation?
Well, and this is, for some people it's hard to talk about, but the Fiesta Bowl actually started a really good tradition of it, and I know there were things that they crossed some lines. John Junker has talked about it, but ultimately, their whole thing was about hospitality, and they did that well. And you would hear coaches talk about it, and you would hear visitors talk about it, and you would hear fans talk about it. And that reputation, I think, really started the ball rolling as far as this community kind of getting there. And this is, I think the tourism industry here hires the best of the best because there's so many people that come here for non-sporting events. And so they know how to market it, and they know how to put together a big party.
And for a long time, we were kind of the upstart. The Fiesta Bowl was always the upstart, and then all of a sudden it just kept gaining prominence until it was part of the championship series and that whole 9 yards. Was this growth gradual? Was it explosive?
I think you'll get a couple of big events from pre-BCS Fiesta Bowl, that Penn State-Miami game with the fatigues, right, Vinny Testaverde, and then Tennessee and Florida State and Nebraska and Florida all played out here. And I think we showed that we could put on these big events, and we were kind of a different venue than they were used to. But I think more recently, light rail and the bigger convention center, which maybe, like a lot of locals, maybe don't appreciate all the time, unless you're kind of urban-minded, those allow us to get these things now because they like the transit to be able to bring in all these folks in for these concerts and fan fests, and they like that convention center downtown for all the fan fests, which the NBA did and the NFL did for the Super Bowl. And so there's that blueprint there that we mentioned, that where the NCAA can come in and just look at that and say, hey, that's a good idea, we'll do it that way.
And yet the stadium is out in Glendale, nowhere near a light rail track. It's still important, though. This stuff needs a facility like University of Phoenix Stadium. That's a big deal.
Well, and that was the thing. And Paula alluded to the fact that, this is the first Final Four basically west of Texas. That I believe it was 1995 in Seattle, the now long gone Kingdome. And for a long time there wasn't a venue out in this part of the country that could support that. And then 2006, University of Phoenix Stadium opens, and I mean it's been, when you think about last year they marked the 10th anniversary of that stadium. When you think about all the major events that have been there, I mean, there have been, it's 2 Super Bowls, it's a college football playoff national championship, it's, I forget how many BCS championship games out there now.
Like 3, has it been 2 or 3?
Yeah, and we've had the Final Four now. There was an NCAA regional tournament. I mean, we can, there's a separate conversation we had about the other stuff that goes on in Glendale with the hockey arena and such, but that stadium out there has done a lot of big events and done them very well.
And that was part of the sales pitch for that stadium, wasn't it?
Absolutely, that it was going to be beyond just, the 8 home games of an NFL season. I'm really interested, the Final Four, maybe more than any other big event, Ted, is typically put in cities where everything can be in the same area. Indianapolis, people can walk from event to event. This is obviously different. They're relying on transportation. I know Houston caught some grief because media and fans had to go this way and that way. I'm interested in how this reaction is going to be after, because it is Scottsdale and it is Glendale and it is downtown Phoenix. Well, I think it's going to be fine. But
what's interesting, and I was talking to some of the journalists when I was out at the stadium today, and they were saying, look, this is, because I was talking about that exact thing. Indianapolis, hey, you walk out your front door and you're everywhere. And they were saying, oh, don't. And I said, yeah, how's it compared to Dallas or Houston? Like, oh, this is so much better. So it seems, and that's the other thing that, when you mentioned the Fiesta Bowl, goes back to is I think the other thing that the Fiesta Bowl laid the groundwork for is with the media. Yes. You talk with that hospitality. You talk to the media, and they a lot of our colleagues love coming out here for the Fiesta Bowl, and grew to really like this, like Phoenix, like the Valley.
And that's so important. I mean, it sounds a little shallow here, but that's so important. If the media is not happy, I mean, when they had the Super Bowl at Sun Devil Stadium, that was almost a disaster because everyone was complaining about everything.
Yeah, our industry likes to complain about stuff. We like free food. We like free food, and we like to complain about things. And you hear this in Jacksonville when they had the Super Bowl. You hear it in Tampa, where they might have to stay over on the other side where the beaches are, to drive across the bay. And of course, you get to cover these things, and why are we grousing about this? But they love coming here. They get to stay. The Camelback Inn has always hosted the media for the Fiesta Bowl, and they do a good job of getting people from the stadium. One thing about the stadium is it's 10 years. Well, it's more 10 years old now, right?
I mean,
it doesn't seem like it's that old.
Amazing.
But the sight lines are really good, and it's a nice, big, modern stadium. But it's a little more intimate than some of the other newer stadiums out there. And you have people that come out, and fans and media really like going there because you can watch the game, not necessarily maybe from the 50-yard line or the center seats all the time, and still really see the action and kind of watch it and have a good time.
Let's talk about that stadium, because we're in a few years now, Las Vegas is going to have some big, huge stadium, and Los Angeles may have an even bigger, huger stadium. You got Jerry Jones's Dome down there in Texas. It's a lot of competition now for where, I mean, University of Phoenix Stadium was it west of the Mississippi.
Yeah, we had a monopoly.
Not anymore. How's it going to affect?
Oh, I think it's going to affect us big time, because one thing the NFL likes to do is if you build a stadium for them, they give you a Super Bowl. And so, and LA and Vegas are places people want to visit. Lots of hotel rooms, nice big convention center spaces, lots of places to put on events, lots of places for the corporate sponsors and the wealthier 1% folks that put on the big parties to do that. And that, coupled with Jerry's World in Dallas, is going to be a big competition for us. We might be in the rotation, but those places are definitely going to be kind of fresh on the list, because they're always looking for new places to go for the Super Bowl or the Final Four.
And it's hard for Phoenix to compete with the glitz of Las Vegas and just the LA of Los Angeles.
Well, Vegas is an interesting case because obviously Vegas, it's this gambling capital, but it's so if you ask someone 10 years ago, I think even if you said, hey, will there be a professional team in Las Vegas, they probably would have said no.
The owners of the leagues and said it for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean the vote. The vote last or earlier this week. Sorry, it all blends together with the NFL meetings and the Final Four all in the same week. But the vote earlier this week was 31-1 to move the Raiders to Las Vegas. And I would have figured, oh, there would have been concerns about gambling. No, the concern was about being what I was told was it was the Dolphins who had the one no vote, and the vote was more about being loyal to local markets and not moving. So it really wasn't a gambling issue. Now, the NCAA is a little more complicated because the NCAA has very adamant messaging, anti-gambling and such, and they're very careful. Like if you notice how the NCAA even markets it, like it's bracket games, they're for fun. They're not meant to be. They're not meant to be for money. And something that I needed to check on, but I was talking to a basketball writer friend of mine who's like, the NCAA would have to change rules to have its own championship events there.
Interesting.
At the same time, I will tell you, I had a reporter talk to one of the folks at the NCAA the other day, one of the folks who works with the men's basketball championships, and asked him, would you guys ever take the Final Four to Vegas? Like, I can see that happening.
I can see
Well, you
that
already have
happening.
conference tournaments going up there. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, a number of them.
Yeah.
Wildly successful ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that. Okay, U of A did not make the Final Four this year. That's a disappointment because they were expected to make it. However, considering it's a couple of hours away,
Right.
Instead you've got folks from the Northwest, you've got folks from the South Mid-Atlantic. I would imagine from a business perspective, it's kind of a good thing.
Absolutely. I think locally our community is kind of heartbroken because it would have been fun to have that representation. Well, maybe not ASU fans, but let's rephrase that. But I think a lot of the state would have enjoyed it. But absolutely, they're going to drive back and forth. They're not going to inject that money into this community, into this income that's needed here. But I think it just would have been a fun event to have a local presence.
It would be like, and something that I actually reported on was the Bay Area World Series back in 1989 when you got both cities right there. Of course, you can leave the earthquake away from it. But I mean, the idea that the U of A isn't here, if they had been here, that would have been a very interesting scenario.
I think it would have helped ticket prices. I think you would have had all the alumni here and folks just driving up and coming to Phoenix for this, so that would have been easy for them. But in terms of them spending money on staying in hotels or spending the night or the weekend, maybe not so much. It was interesting when they played Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl a few years ago. It was a lot of Boise State people there, surprisingly, and the U of A turnout wasn't that great. I think for the Final Four, they certainly would have shown up fan-wise at the stadium, but would they have?
It's a lot of day trips there instead of staying in hotels.
And would have hurt that.
Well, that's the thing. The thing that's obviously unique about this event is you have games on Saturday, you have game on Monday. So there's Sunday in between, and I know from folks I know who were involved in the bid that was a big deal of how they marketed Phoenix, marketed Arizona. Frankly, is look at all these wonderful things to do on Sunday. You can take a day trip up to the Grand Canyon. You can go play golf. You can it's beautiful weather. All that kind of stuff. That that like you were saying is U of A folks, they would have might have come up for the game Saturday, maybe go back, and if they even made the championship game, they would have then gone back to Tucson or gone on Monday. Or not to mention there's such a large alumni population here, but it wouldn't be that the visitors trying to take advantage of all the tourism opportunities.
And we've heard from folks in Sedona, and they do get visitors for these big events. They get a lot of these folks because they all hear of Sedona, they all hear the Vortex, they want to go see the Red Rocks and the whole 9 yards.
Crystals and everything. And the other part of what Brett was talking about was even the other sporting events that's happening here. The end of spring training, the Diamondbacks season opener on Sunday. The Suns are playing around this time. The Coyotes have a game. I mean, it's just one piece of the puzzle, but I think that was an attractive part of it too.
Well, look, I mean, the Diamondbacks game Sunday sold out.
Yeah, well, it better sell. That's a home opener for
but it's a
Diamondbacks.
right. They don't have very many. They don't have very many sellouts. And when you think, that. It's got I think it was yesterday, the day before, that game sold out. And I've talked to a couple of different people who I know who are in town, frankly, media who are covering the Final Four. Oh yeah, I'm going to the Diamondbacks game Sunday.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are coming in, especially from the Carolinas, especially national media, maybe from back east, that haven't been out here that much or before.
Well, talk more about that, because North Carolina's a blue, but they've been all over the place. I wouldn't be surprised to not see a whole heck of a lot of folks. Maybe they'll fly in Sunday, but they want to see what happens Saturday first. These other three teams, this is a big deal for them.
Yeah, especially for Gonzaga. They don't have a football team. They've been so close to making the Final Four for a while, and so you're seeing a lot of them walking around downtown enjoying it. Oregon's traveled well down here for the football games. for the Fiesta Bowl and the playoff games. And so I think you'll see them down here in pretty good force. And it's a pretty easy flight down here. South Carolina, North Carolina are kind of the wild cards. Are they going to travel out here? We kind of saw that with the Alabama-Clemson game a couple years ago, the football game, where they didn't travel that well because folks in that part of the country are used to traveling kind of regionally,
right.
Going to an Atlanta, going to a Greensboro or Charlotte for basketball. And so to get them to fly across the country is a little different. It's always interesting to how different regions, different conferences, how different teams, how they travel,
yeah.
and where they travel very well. The Pac-12 doesn't always travel very well, but I think Oregon's going to have a lot of folks down there because this is their chance. This is basketball and not football, and it's kind of new to them.
Storylines you've been covering. What's going on out there?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of kind of interesting little factoids. I mean, one of my favorites is, like we said, this is the first Final Four in the West since 1995. It's the first time there's ever been two teams from the Pacific time zone in the Final Four, which is interesting to have that here, to have that to have that come together. I mean, I think the Gonzaga angle to me is really fascinating because they've been at this for a long time. I was literally just editing a story just before we came in here, and it was Mark Few as an assistant coach at Gonzaga lost in, I believe it was an Elite Eight game here in 1999. That's 18 years ago. And then the following year, he took over after Dan Monson left for Minnesota. But they're a big time program. I mean, it's a small school and such, but I mean, so the fact that they've finally made it is fascinating. I mean, on the South Carolina side, I mean, they're, that's a football school, and I overheard a couple of our colleagues in media talking today, and they were talking about all the people they were seeing in South Carolina football jerseys today. Like, a couple of people were in South Carolina football jerseys. The other person said, that's because a lot of them might not realize they had a basketball team.
Yeah, well,
until after
that's all they own.
Right,
that's all they
have.
And Gonzaga reminds me a little bit of Marquette back in the day. Small school, no football to speak of, but the basketball team. Georgetown, same kind of a school, small private school that seems to do very well. Storylines, what do you see?
There's a couple coming out of that one. What's interesting about that program, and as Brett was talking about, Few became coach the year after they were here. He and the athletic director have been together there 18 years. You do not see that in college sports anymore. It's such a strong statement, I think, about continuity. But the other interesting thing Few was talking about today, someone asked him about GCU because Grand Canyon University has talked about wanting to be like Gonzaga, and he gave his perspective, saying, hey, they've got Colangelo, they've got Marley, they're going to be that team, and he was speaking very highly. So what a great model for them, to the smaller university, and to see what it's become.
We've talked about Mark Few, the head coach at Gonzaga, that this head coach of South Carolina is a fireball. I mean, this guy is really
intense, right?
Yes, Francisco Martinez.
Yeah, he's got a great backstory.
College basketball, has it become a coach's the one-and-done players? You don't even get to know these kids' names before they're already gone to the NBA or they're doing something else.
Thornwell kid from South Carolina was the SEC Player of the Year with all these Kentucky stars, and most people didn't know who he was.
They didn't know the Kentucky stars.
No, and it's really changed the game because you kind of grew up with Christian Laettner playing for 4 years, or Michael Jordan playing for 2 or 3 years, James Worthy. These guys played, and then they went to the pros, and you watched them in college, and you kind of watched them evolve and see how many titles they could win or how they did in the Final Four. And now everybody comes out. What was it? The Suns had a starting lineup younger than a lot of the tournament teams the other day. And you think about what Kentucky would be doing with all these players if they would just stay 2 years. I mean, they have so many guys in the pros. But Frank Martin, I think, is kind of a really cool story because you look at the guy, he looks like he's just going to tear somebody's head off. But he's a really kind of nice guy, loves his players, is really good with the media, really loves his job, loves coaching. And he's kind of gone from the ground up on there. I heard him talking about how he didn't have a godfather like a lot of their coaches, or a mentor that kind of helped him along and stuff. And so I think it's kind of an underdog story. And it's kind of interesting because you hear a lot of SEC football dominance all the time. And here's their chance to kind of win it all, but not have it be Kentucky.
Well, not only that, the same thing applies to Oregon. I mean, they were so close with Chip Kelly. They've been so close for a while. Basketball team comes along and they could wind up taking the whole thing.
Well, and the other thing that I find fascinating about Oregon, so their coach, Dana Altman, was at a quote-unquote mid-major program for a long time and had resisted those overtures for a while, and then eventually took the Oregon job. In fact, there had been talk at one point that maybe Few would be a future coach of Oregon. And I find it really interesting that Altman, kind of made the jump and then led. I mean, Oregon isn't known for its basketball. I mean, its last Final Four was the first ever one, played on the campus of Northwestern back in 1939. But still, it's a big time school. I mean, there's tons of money behind that program, particularly because of Nike and Phil Knight. But he made that jump, whereas few stuck around and stuck around and stuck around and now got them there. So that's interesting. The kind of the big program, big conference program, and the smaller, again, it's like Gonzaga's a little teeny school.
Yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, but that continuity is interesting. So that brings us to Arizona State University, which is hosting this event technically, but is nowhere near the caliber of Why is that? Why is ASU perennially just an also-ran?
I can't tell you how many times I've heard the word sleeping giant associated with ASU and why.
I just had that conversation with someone today, literally, where someone said those exact words to me.
I think there's a couple factors. One, you are battling the state with a basketball program that has fantastic tradition in Arizona. That's hard to compete with. You're competing with recruits in that regard. You are in a major metropolitan area, and you will find most successful programs around the country are in smaller towns where you're not battling for the entertainment dollar. When players love, like they bring recruits into those basketball games at McHale. It's loud, it's sold out. They love that environment. They put the recruit's name on the scoreboard. It's hard to get here at ASU because there's not necessarily the tradition in basketball, and there's so many other things to do in town.
Yeah, but you see these other programs out west: St. Mary's, San Diego State. The New Mexico schools are in the tournament. UNLV. They can get enough kids, a lot of them from California, to come in and play. Mm-hmm. To be a good college program, good team, you got three really good players.
That's what amazes me. I mean, it's not like we're not asking for a Final Four here. Just get us in the tournament and then maybe win a game.
Yeah, since James Harden, that was kind of the last,
and it's always one Ike Diago or something like that. It's always one player. Yeah. But what's the deal?
Well, it's interesting, and it's funny too, because the thing that's always fascinating about basketball is, I was mentioning before, so I went to school at Northwestern, and when I was in school, the football team went to the Rose Bowl. Northwestern historically had a miserable athletic history. And they didn't go to the tournament. This year was their first tournament. And I always said, basketball is so much easier, in theory, because you just need a couple players. You get 2 or 3 players, and you should be able to get there. I mean, I think there's a couple challenges, here, and I think one is, if you look at a lot of the other venues, I don't know that Wells Fargo Arena is the ideal basketball venue. The attendance numbers for ASU basketball are frankly astonishingly low. I want to say, I think I saw it was it's like 3,000 or something at points, and they obviously pack it in for U of A games and stuff. But it'd be interesting to see. The thing about the coach now, about Bobby Hurley, is, when you think about, Bobby is one of the, real historical college basketball players. Definitely has that, won back-to-back titles in 91 and 92, was in 3 Final Fours, et cetera. So it will be, I'm curious to see, it's only been a couple years for Bobby, what he's able to build, with this program.
Okay, so we'll watch out for that. Real quickly, clashing of styles. What should we watch for on television with these teams? What do we look for?
Oh gosh, I think Gonzaga, their great strength has been that every year in and year out, they have juniors and seniors on that team, which is pretty much unheard of in college basketball.
Right.
You will see as smart a team, and just in the experience level, the way they pass the ball, the decisions they make. That, to me, is one of the great storylines, is I think people will be exposed to this really, really smart team.
What do you watch for?
Basketball-wise, North Carolina's size. That's how they kind of beat Kentucky when that was probably a Final Four type game.
Yeah.
And whether maybe one player can take this over, whether it's Thornwell or Brooks or Dorsey, one of those guys. You can see that in the NCAAs in the past with Mateen Cleaves and Glenn Rice, where one player can just get hot enough to carry his team. It's just a single elimination game, and so the other team maybe doesn't show up as well. So I would look for maybe if one guy kind of stands out for one of these upstart teams. Style-wise, real quickly, what are you looking for?
Well, I think South Carolina's feisty. They had those, not the most recent game, but the 2 previous games where they had ridiculously high scoring in the second half. I think it was 65 points in the second half against Duke. They just play tough. I mean, frankly, it's probably you see, we're talking about the energy of their coach. I think you see that energy carry over the team. I mean, they are just, go, go, go. So, I think I'm very, very intrigued to see particularly how they perform on this stage.
All right, with that, got about a minute left, 30 seconds here. Who do you think is going to take it all? What's the winning team?
Gonzaga.
You think so?
It just feels like their year.
Wow. So from no Final Four to a national championship in one fell swoop. What do you think?
I'll go with Oregon. I think the way they played against Kansas, I thought Kansas was the best team going in the tournament, and they had those great early round games.
Person, but I think I might be leaning Oregon. I don't know why, but for some reason I'm leaning Oregon.
All right, we'll see. 2 Oregons and a Gonzaga, huh? Yeah. Thank you all for being here. We really do appreciate it, and have a good weekend. Enjoy the weekend. Monday on Arizona Horizon, we will get a legal perspective on the future of healthcare reform, and we'll learn about a local awards ceremony that honors those who help women succeed. That's Monday, 5:30 and 10 right here on the next Arizona Horizon. Tuesday, we'll hear about how judges are trying to improve access to justice. Wednesday, legislative leaders discuss the latest issues at the state capitol. Thursday, local scientists look at an asteroid that could be a failed planet. And Friday, another edition of the Journalists Roundtable. That's it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thanks for joining us. You have a great weekend.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you. When you want to be more informed, Arizona PBS delivers news and analysis with multiple perspectives, thanks to financial support from you and
Mesa Arts Center presents the Arts in Mind program, created for people with mild to moderate dementia and their care partners. A unique way to foster dignity through arts engagement, as well as building connections for you and your loved one. Information at mesaartscenter.com/creativeaging.
More than 90% of the time, hospice care is delivered in the best place of all, home. Hospice of the Valley has been providing quality care at home since 1977. Not for profit, for comfort.
Coming up next on Arizona PBS, Life and World. Coming soon to Arizona PBS. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Mesa Arts Center presents Taj Express, the Bollywood Musical Review, a fusion of film, dance, and music capturing the vibrant, expressive spirit of Bollywood movies that have been entertaining people in India for generations. Saturday, April 15th at 8 p.m. at the Mesa Arts Center. Tickets at mesaartscenter.com.
Support comes from Copenhagen, celebrating 45 years of innovative design. From the iconic to the up-and-coming, design is the heart of our business. Copenhagen, Phoenix, Scottsdale, Tempe.
Known for its groundbreaking dances and pioneering spirit, Aspen Santa Fe Ballet performs the new work, Silent Ghost. April 13th and 15th at Scottsdale Center for the Performing Arts. Tickets at scottsdaleperformingarts.org.
Good evening, I'm Judy Woodruff. On the NewsHour tonight, we take a deep dive into the many questions about connections between Russian officials and the Trump campaign as investigations move forward and new revelations surface. Then we visit the Midwest to find out what Trump supporters in Michigan are saying about his first 2 months in office.
What he has said is the truth, and I don't think he has reason to lie. What does he have to gain by lying? Nothing.
Also ahead in the final part of our series exploring new PTSD research how explosions from battle may have a direct link to the causes of PTSD.
When the explosion goes off, it forms what's called a blast wave. And so here you have a high pressure pulse passing through this delicate instrument called the brain.
And it's Friday. Mark Shields and David Brooks are here to analyze the week's news. All that and more on tonight's PBS NewsHour.
Major funding for the PBS NewsHour has been provided by
our economy for 160 years. BNSF, the engine that connects us.
Our tradition has been to take care of Mother Earth because it fed us, gave us water that gives us life. The land is here for everyone.
The Ford Foundation, working with visionaries on the front lines of social change worldwide. And with the ongoing support of these institutions. And friends of the NewsHour. This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
The request for legal immunity from President Trump's former national security advisor drew sharply different responses today. Michael Flynn said he will cooperate with congressional Russia probes, but only if he's spared from the possibility of prosecution. Mr. Trump tweeted Flynn should ask for immunity because, quote, this is a witch hunt by the media and Democrats. But Adam Schiff, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, said it's too early to consider such a deal. We'll take a closer look at the investigations right after the news summary. President Trump moved to reshape American trade policy today, signing a pair of executive orders. One initiates a review of U.S. trade deficits. The other looks to increase the collection of duties on imports. Mr. Trump said the orders, quote, set the stage for a great revival of American manufacturing. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson today warned NATO allies to boost their defense spending within the next 2 months. During Tillerson's first meeting with his alliance counterparts in Brussels, he said Washington is contributing a, quote, disproportionate share to defense. But